Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
All American Waste Removal of New Mexico provides compactors, roll-off containers, dumpsters, waste management, recycle services, and waste removal cleanup for home, construction, and business. We have trash containers varying in sizes from 2 yards to 40 yards. If we don't have the size you need, we'll get it. We're a locally owned and operated waste management company, currently offering waste management and trash services in Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, Bernalillo, Sandoval, and Valencia County areas. Let 60 plus years of combined garbage removal and trash pickup experience work for you.
Welcome to the Marvin Johnson Show. I know we announced this show back in September that it would be on by now, but due to certain unforeseen circumstances, we're here and we're starting now. And first of all, I'd like to say thanks to Proview Sports and Steve Davis, and as well Josh for helping me produce the show and allow me to have this opportunity to talk about one of my favorite topics, youth sports, and of course basketball in particular. And what this show will be about is youth sports, the parents, the players, the refs, the fans. And we'll talk about, football, current, like the NFL, different situations that come up there, retaining to youth sports. It all really comes back to youth sports where everyone starts in youth sports. And again, I'll give you a little background on me. How I got started in youth sports and how I got started in basketball. I was born in DeRidder, Louisiana. That's in the southwest part of the state of Louisiana, close to the Texas border, closer to Houston, Texas than New Orleans. For the people that are military, especially particularly Army, it's near Army base called Fort Polk, Louisiana, which is where I really learned to play basketball, playing against all the GIs there. I was a young kid. They allowed me to play, and I took my licks and got beat up. But that's where I learned the game, is at Fort Polk, Louisiana. And the town I grew up in is called DeRidder, Louisiana. The town probably the size of Belen, New Mexico, for reference. And I grew up there. I'm from a family of 13 children. I'm the fourth, so there's 9 under me. And we all grew up like I said, in this little small town, and we were pretty much a basketball family. Everybody, all the kids in my family played basketball. Baseball was actually my first love for sports, but however, I grew up in, like I said, a little small town, and once I got into high school, we didn't have baseball, so I had to choose another sport. And I've been playing basketball all along, so I took to that. And that's where I got my start. And when I was growing up, it was during the time of busing, and they closed the school down. The Carver Elementary School, Carver High School, they closed that school down, and we were all bused to the white school, DeRidder High School. And so a lot of the players on that team, because of the social times, the culture times, a lot of the black players, we weren't allowed to play. And I actually didn't play basketball until my last year of high school, for mainly that was one of the big things that was at play, the race thing. But, you get past that, and I played the 1 year, and I got noticed by a junior college in West Texas. The name of that school was Big Spring, Texas, Howard County Junior College. And I went there and played a couple of years. led the nation in scoring with 35 points a game, and that's when Coach John Wisner from New Mexico saw me. I was recruited by probably about 10 other major schools at that time, and I chose to come to Albuquerque. He talked me into coming to here, and that's how I ended up in Albuquerque, and pretty much been here since then. The fans here, the city, the climate, it's I love it, still do, and I've made my my business is this you see on my shirt, SB. That means Southwest Basketball, and we have programs for kids between the ages of 5 years old and 17 years old. It's a co-ed program, and it's on the west side of town right now at a school by the name of Christine Duncan Academy, and that's behind the Walmart at Coors and I-40. And most people, I guess my credibility, and most people in New Mexico know me for scoring 50 points in one game, and that was back in 1978. About 40-something, almost 40 years ago. And I scored that 50 points, and there was no three-point line. It was two at a time. We have some of the old clippings. I guess there were videotapes and reel-to-reel tapes in those days, and I would have had 65 or 70 points if we had been in a three-point line in those days. But I'm surprised that record is still there after all these years with the three-point line. It's been 40 years since then, and it's still there. But that's what most people know me for, is shooting. I was a shooter. That night I had the 50 was just one of those nights you were kind of in that zone. Things happened. I was hot, and my teammates, having great teammates, they fed me the ball, and ended up with 50 that night. I'd actually scored 49 earlier that year in December, so I broke Ben Monroe's record of 45, and 2 months later I broke the record, my own record, of 50 points in one game. Like I said, this was all before the three-point line. But anyway, to say all that, people know Marvin Johnson as a shooter. So, and I'll do a segment on shooting here, this first segment on shooting, the fundamentals of shooting. Each show, there'll be a segment on the fundamentals of basketball. Tonight's segment will be shooting, of course. We'll take a quick break and come back with the shooting segment.
Academy, it's Hardy Stone. Good move to the basket.
Hunter Thomas backs it out to Harrison. Going to try to drive. Harrison beats the buzzer. Yes, got it.
Wade powers in. Good shot off. Markham will launch a right wing three at the buzzer. It's up and good. Carr. Bucket. Press offense. They had an opportunity there. Oh, nice move by Lewis. Layup.
Second turnover by Anyata. Year out can run with it. Year out. No look dish. Longmire's going to. Heaving. Year out. Dish underneath and the finish. Year out. So tough. Have a little nice step in the lane. Ingram a jump step. Ingram window and good. What a Christy May's restaurant is locally owned and operated with a family-friendly atmosphere. Their array of homemade comfort food is just like your mom's. From homemade chicken pot pie to their famous chicken salad on a croissant, Christy May's even offers lunch catering. Christy May's restaurant is located at 1400 San Pedro Drive, Northeast. They offer drive-in, carry-out, and catering. Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Stop living with summer heat. Get a super efficient AC systems from Sunshine Plumbing and Heating and eliminate all worry for a full 10 years. Now that's a bold guarantee. Call now and get your free system design consultation and learn more about how our bold guarantee can help eliminate your worry for a full 10 years. Comfort you can afford. Call Sunshine Plumbing today, 296-3188.
At Extreme Clean, we understand your home is your most important investment. From carpet to tile and grout cleaning, we handle it all. Call Extreme Clean now to schedule 221-6440, extremecleannm.com.
Hello, we're glad you're still there. Now we're on with our fundamental of the show for this week is shooting. My forte, what I was the best at. Shooting is the name of the game in basketball. Everybody on the floor that's on your team, the 5 players on the floor, needs to be able to shoot a jump shot and be pretty efficient at it. Otherwise, defense, if you have a weak shoot on your team, they're going to leave you and go and double team one of the better players on your team, which is going to make it difficult for your team to function. So you want to be able to shoot a jump shot. And we when all the kids come to our program, we try to start them off right as young as possible, learning to shoot the right way. Because if you learn to shoot with bad habits from a young age, you're going to keep reinforcing that habit. And as you stay in basketball, that habit is going to be there and it's going to be a hindrance to you. So, first of all, shooting starts with your feet. It's the foundation of your shot. Just as this building was built, the first thing they put down that made it as perfect as possible was the foundation. So if the foundation is correct, the walls, the ceiling, the rest of the building will more than likely be correct. Same thing with your shooting. If you're right-handed, your right foot's forward like this. Left foot's half a foot back and about shoulder width apart. This is the foundation of the shot, your base, like that. Both feet are pointed straight ahead. And where we get the power from is the bend of the knees here in a straight line, straight down, like this. Not to the side here, not back here. This is where it's at, right here, bending in a straight line. And when you're young, you want to stay in close to the basket where you can shoot with this right fundamental like this. So you don't develop those bad habits. So when you get older, you have to break it. And that's difficult, almost impossible. So right foot forward, left foot half foot back and about shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, sitting this like this, right here. Bend the knees. And how you hold the ball with your hand. Fingers are pointed like you're trying to palm the ball. We call it the eagle claw, like this. Fingers spread wide, the ball fits in, it's up on your fingers. And there should be space in here. Don't grip the ball where the whole ball is in your hand. It's up on the fingers, spread wide like this, as if you're trying to palm it. What I tell the young players is find the air hole on the ball. Put that center finger on the air hole, like that. Finger spread wide on it. Slight grip like you're trying to palm it. And this is like an L, right here. And if there's a string from my elbow to my foot, they should be on the same line. Everything lines up right here. The reason why that right foot's a little bit forward when I get ready to shoot, see, this is going to line up with the rim. And if both feet are on the same parallel straight across, see, I shoot here, everything is out here. So we want to be here. Right foot forward just slightly. The left hand is a guide hand. It just holds the ball in position. And when you get ready to shoot, you're going to finish like that. It's called the gooseneck. And if you snapping your wrist properly, it's going to have what's called a backspin on it, like that. You see how it's spinning back? That's important. If it doesn't go directly in, swish, it'll hit the rim and it'll bounce around 1, 2, 3, and maybe on one of those bounces it'll go in. You hear the commentator go soft touch, velvet touch, shooter's touch. That's what they mean. The ball is spinning back like this. And if it hits, it's going to create a soft touch. If it's going through the air any other kind of way and it hits, it's going to bounce and come off long. And teams get fast breaks that way. We call those what? Bricks. Okay, so again, right foot forward, left foot half foot back, shoulder width apart. This action to shoot, sit in a straight line, come, finish like that. Okay? In fact, when you first start shooting, don't go to the basket. Shoot maybe 50, 60 times, just sitting like this, shooting the ball like that, taking your time. Hold it, keep the ball here in front, shooting like that. There's not a rim here, but what you're looking at when you're getting ready to shoot, you look at the rim. You keep your eye on the rim. You don't shoot the ball and look at the flight of the ball. Focus on the rim, either the front part of the rim or the back part. But that's what you focus on. Don't shoot and look at the flight of the ball. Shoot it, and then, like I say, your sight is focused on the rim. And once you shoot it, follow your shot. That's one fundamental I see a lot. I was at a high school basketball game the other night. A lot of players, NBA, college, they don't follow their shot. Your coach will love you if you shoot and follow your shot. If you shoot and follow your shot, say you're a good shooter, shooting 50%, shoot 10, you make 5. If you follow every shot, you're going to miss 5s, and you follow every one. You're going to get at least 2, 3 or more shots extra because you followed your shot every time. That's a great fundamental to have. And if you're trying to make a team and you're trying to improve your game, shoot and follow your shot. One of the greatest fundamentals in basketball is shooting and following your shot. And if you on a basketball team and you need to have the confidence of your coach. If your coach doesn't believe in you, no matter how good a shooter you think you are, if he don't believe you're a good shooter, it's not going to work for you. You need to be what's called to have the green light. When I played like here at UNM, I had what's called the green light. That means the coach, whatever shot you take, the coach is good with it. So you want to develop a relationship with your coach, and how you do that is you go to practice early, you get there early, and you shoot 20 minutes or so before practice, and you stay after practice and shoot. Coach see you doing that, and you perform in practice, and that's how you're going to get his confidence, and that's how you're going to get what's called a green light. And on each team, there's one player has a green light, 2 maybe, and then the other players, coach, he's okay with you. But if you want to be that player, the go-to man on your team, you got to prove it to your coach, and first prove it to yourself, and then prove it to your coach. And like I say, we have a basketball camp over Christmas break here. If you want to come to our camp, contact us. The information is on the bottom of the screen, and we'll go over all the fundamentals of basketball, including shooting. And you don't have anything going on during the break, so come and join us. But anyway, if you have any questions or you want to contact me, you can contact me with the info on the bottom of the screen.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Champion Cryotherapy is Albuquerque's leading provider of non-invasive cold therapy for weight management, pain management, beauty and wellness, and athletic recovery. Champion Cryotherapy provides a safe and natural athletic performance and recovery benefits such as faster recovery from stress of athletic performances, competitive sports, and training. Champion Cryotherapy, you could visit us, Wyoming Boulevard, just south of Paseo del Norte. That's 821 Cryo. Christy Mae's Restaurant is locally owned and operated with a family-friendly atmosphere. Their array of homemade comfort food is just like your mom's. From homemade chicken pot pie to their famous chicken salad on a croissant, Christy Mae's even offers lunch catering. Christy Mae's Restaurant is located at 1400 San Pedro Drive, Northeast. They offer drive-in, carry-out, and catering. Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Before you go viral, make an appointment with Feedy Family Dentistry, now with 2 locations to serve you in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho.
Dr. George Stribling, the ultimate sports chiropractor, is a proud sponsor of Proview Sports. For 34 years, he has been the chiropractor for sports injuries, soft tissue, muscle fatigue, muscle sprains, neck and back injuries. Dr. Stribling specializes in a kinesio taping technique that is designed to facilitate the body's natural healing process while providing support and stability to muscles and joints without restricting the body's range of motion. Sports injuries are Dr. Stribling's specialty.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed that shooting segment there, and we'll probably go over it throughout the show, over shooting. Hopefully, we'll help you develop you into a great shooter. Just pay attention and follow those things, and if you those tips that we gave, or that I gave, and if you get a chance, come to one of our programs. Yeah, I want to get a little bit more into my background as well. My professional experience, you said, well, you were such a good shooter. Why did you make it big in the NBA, this and that? When I left college, this is what happened with me. I left UNM, and I was drafted by the Chicago Bulls in the 2nd round. And as you probably remember, I played with a guy named Michael Cooper. He went with the Lakers. And it all depends on what team you get drafted by, whether they need your ability and you fit in with that team. And your name comes up on the board, and they just have you rated, and the team has a draft position, and they pick you whether they need you or not. If they don't need you, they trade you or they do whatever with you. And I was hoping I was going to get drafted by the Boston Celtics. I thought they fit my style much better. And I went to Chicago, like I said. Chicago was a very deliberate team. They were a slow-down team, and they had a player there. Their star player was a guy named Artis Gilmore. We had to get the ball, wait till he get down the floor, and by the time he got down the floor, the shot clock was like at 10 seconds, and I just didn't fit into that situation, and then I hurt my knee. And when you're trying to make a team and you get hurt, it was bad news. And it just didn't work out. The injury kind of got in the way, and being who I got drafted by, I didn't think I fit in with that team. And that was back in the days when everybody remember, see the NBA now, see how glamorous and stuff it is. But back in those days, the NBA was, this is kind of how it was. The games were delayed. The games would say played tonight, and then they were showed late on Saturday night at 10:30 or Friday night at 10:30. They weren't even live games. The attendance was like 5,000 people, and basketball wasn't the resources in basketball as it is now. And when I came out, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all those guys came out around the same year or the year after, and that's when they're the ones that kind of, when you hear the stories like Magic and Larry Bird saved basketball, they really did. And that's what really brought the NBA to what it is today, the modern day NBA. And like I said, it was just a series of misfortunate things that happened, and it didn't work out for me. And I went and played basketball overseas for about 12 years. I coached and played all over the world. Last place I was at was down in Australia. Spent about 7 years down there on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane, Australia. And before that, I was in the Philippines. Spent some time in China, in Hong Kong, Europe, and down in Mexico. And I started doing the basketball programs. I would stay in New Mexico until about March. I'll stay in Australia until about March at the end, and then I would come back by the summer and start doing the basketball camp. So I went from summer to summer. The seasons are reversed in Australia. So I would go to Australia about September, go there, play and coach, and then come back here about March and then start setting up my programs. I've been doing the camps about 25 years, the camps, leagues, and we do personal training. like I said, for kids between the ages of 5 and 17 years old. It's a co-ed program. And then right after I left, right after I was released by Chicago, I was there about 7 or 8 months, and they released me, and I went down to their farm team at the time. It was called the Wilkes-Barre Barons. I stayed there and finished out the year there, and I came back to UNM, and I finished my degree. And that next year was when Lobo Gate happened. I was assistant coach for Charlie Harrison. Norm hired me as the assistant, and I was working there with Pat King and Manny Goldstein and those guys. And actually, when it all went down, when it all happened, I was down in Florida recruiting players, and the secretary, D, we called her name was Diane. She called me, man, crying and said I need to get back here, the next plane back, to help take over the team because the FBI was in the building and it was arresting everybody. Oh, it was crazy. I came back to that. And anyway, the rest of that season, Charlie Harrison and I finished coaching Lobos. We had to have an open walk-ons with players, 6 players. I don't know if you all remember that history, but that was the epicenter of Lobo basketball. We had, I think Kenny Page was a player on that team, was the only player on that team, and we had 8, 9 walk-ons, and we finished the season with that. It was a challenge. So that was my kind of sums up my history at UNM when I was the assistant coach with Charlie Harrison. After that, I went back overseas, started playing and coaching basketball then. I'm glad you took the opportunity to tune in to the first episode of the Marvin Johnson Show. This is the first episode, like I say, so give us opportunity. This is the first show. We'll get better. And as I said, we're gonna, now that you have my background, we'll have a lot more content on youth sports, and I'll have different, not only my league games, but some of the other leagues around town. I'll show their games on the show and comment about that. And what we'll talk about starting next week is youth basketball. Players play, coaches coach, spectators spectate, and referees referee. You get at games, you hear the parents on the sidelines screaming at their kid, do this, do that. The coach trying to tell them to, do one thing, and the big brother trying to tell them to do something else, and the kids get confused, and it's not a good situation. So we try to have a rule, like I say, where the players play, the coaches coach, the refs ref, and everybody do their job, in other words. And don't put pressure on your kid to be the next Michael Jordan. I mean, it's the best thing you can say to your child is, we love to come watch you play. Don't tell them when the game is over, you're out eating after the game, telling your kid, hey, why don't you pass that ball? Why don't you shoot it? Why you did this? Why you did that? He don't want to hear all that. Just when you go to the games, and he don't want to hear you on the sideline screaming at him. It's embarrassing him. Just, keep calm. It's just a game activity where he's getting some exercise. He's, he loves basketball. He likes to play, if it's basketball, football, whatever the sport is, and just let him have fun. Don't put pressure on him to do this or do that. If he has the skill to play at a higher level, that'll come out. But let him be a kid and let him have fun. And, don't be on the sideline screaming. I hate to see parents do that. I mean, it's embarrassing for the kid and the parent and the whole family and everybody in the gym. So we have to visit that kind of situation a lot with youth sports. That's one of the things, like I said, we want to have the kids have fun, and we want to teach them the right way. And it takes a lot of patience. And some people don't agree with the way we teach, but we do our best, and I think we do a real good job. So we get into that more in next week's show. And we're going to start next week having a special, mostly Lobo players as a guest, and other people from the community as well. But next week we'll try to have a guest blast from the past, so to speak. And thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. With that, I want to say, like the old Soul Train, love, peace.